Can you kill the Series 3? Not yet. Why not release that thing in September of 2017, yet you're still selling? Why are you still selling it? That's cheap. People buy the cheap watch. People like $199 is a good price. Those bezels are criminal. There's no way in 2022 you can continue to sell it. It's a low starting price. People love that price. It's on the 32-bit architecture. It would make so much more possible with watchOS if you just drop the Series 3. Okay, fine. Series 3 won't get watchOS 9 then. Oh, thank God. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that. So you're not gonna sell it anymore. That's not what we said. But you're not giving it the new watchOS. Why would you continue to sell it even though it's running watchOS 8? Low starting price. No. You've never... Oh my God! Let's begin. So I installed watchOS 9 beta on my one and only Apple Watch Series 7. There's been a lot of horror stories of watchOS betas bricking devices and stuff, but I've honestly never had a problem, which is a dangerous way to look at things, but it's been running very stable for me. Basically, no bugs that I can register other than the volume indicator sticks around for a bit longer than it should, which is funny because that's pretty much the only watchOS beta bug I've had over the years. And for a developer beta, it's pretty dang stable. The battery life has been fine for me. No massive bugs that cause the whole watch to crash or overheat or anything. I just kept using it like my normal watch. No big deal. But as you guys know, watchOS 9 was not particularly chocked full with new updates and features. So every year, whenever we get minor updates to the watch like this, I like diving into the tiny details, the not so big updates that Apple didn't talk too much about, because that's pretty much all you don't know yet. And those little differences can stack up so that it becomes easy to tell if you're on the latest version or what have you. But just keep in mind, these are not massive features. I'm not trying to act like this is going to totally change the way you use your watch, because these are pretty dang minor. So for one, in Control Center, I don't know why they did this, but the battery percentage changed to blue. It's just blue. It doesn't do anything different. It doesn't, like, change color when you tap it or anything. They just changed the percentage to blue. Maybe that's a bug. It doesn't feel like a bug, but that's something they offer now. Another pretty big fundamental change that I ran into recently, which I was not expecting, is when you activate, water lock so that the display doesn't become interactive, but you want to unlock the watch from water mode. So before you used to scroll the digital crown up or down to kind of unlock it. Now you press and hold the digital crown, because I guess Siri would not be activated anyway. So I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Is that actually faster than just scrolling the digital crown? Now you have to press and hold. It might take a tad longer than before, but maybe people were accidentally unlocking their watch when it was in water lock mode by accidentally brushing up against the digital crown or something. It's a very bizarre change because it's basically been that way ever since the Apple Watch Series 2, and now they finally fundamentally changed that, and I assume it's the same method with the bedtime feature. But I went several days without noticing it, and then I went swimming and came out and I was like, oh, the scroll doesn't work. You have to press and hold now. A little bit weird. Another more useful perk for Apple Watch Series 7 owners out there, which I very much appreciate, is they're adding predictive text to the QWERTY keyboard, which actually helps a lot because I do quite a bit of texting straight off of that swipe keyboard, and because the keyboard is so small, for the most part, I've got it down, but occasionally I make a mistake because I'm human and I will swipe a word and it's incorrect. But now that you have 2 or 3 little predictive text options there, very likely one of the times you spell it wrong, the correct word is right there as a backup, and it's very easy for me to type even fairly long paragraphs and continue conversations with people if my phone is preoccupied or my phone is in the other room. It's not just because I'm lazy. Sometimes, my iPhone is being used for continuity camera on the Mac, so if I want to text someone and be using that webcam, the Apple Watch is helpful and useful at that. So definitely appreciate them adding that. It's definitely filling up the display a lot, and I think it's very hypocritical for them to add the QWERTY keyboard to the 41mm watch, but not the 42 or 44mm watches out there. Like, I think, personally, this is as small as I'm comfortable going with a QWERTY keyboard, and this is the largest display Apple's ever put on a watch. So I feel like if they restricted it to this option, their logic would make sense, but them software locking it to the 41 and not bringing it to the other watches, that feels a bit bizarre, but I personally would not feel comfortable uncomfortable typing with the QWERTY keyboard on a display any smaller than this. The other big change that I didn't see them talk too much about during the event, but actually makes a really big useful difference, is the redesigned notification system. So before, if you were actively using your watch and you got a notification, it would turn off the entire display. You get this big pop-up that says, hey, you got a message, and then another animation with all the text and who texted you, which would kind of interrupt you if you were in the middle of something, which, because I check my emails and text people quite a bit on my watch, that was honestly kind of intrusive. But now, much more similar to an iPhone, if you're using the watch and you get a notification, it's just a little drop-down menu, which I like, and you just swipe down from that and you can instantly reply and start texting to it. That is much, much faster than it was before, and if it's a non-important text, you can easily dismiss it and just ignore it. Maybe that wasn't possible with the 32-bit silicon in the Apple Watch Series 3. It's honestly funny because all these changes are so small, but now they kill the Series 3. I don't know why the 3 couldn't do any of these things, but I don't care. They need to stop selling the Series 3 regardless, so stop supporting it, and ideally, don't take money for that watch anymore, Apple. This is ridiculous. Another change they made that I actually found myself appreciating is that if there are apps running in the background, they rearrange them in the dock now. So that little side button that you press to switch between apps will keep apps that are actively running or doing something pinned. So for instance, a stopwatch, if you're clocking something for an extended period of time, but you also want to do a workout and then you want to activate the bedtime feature, or you take the watch off and charge it for hours and hours. I've been running a stopwatch since yesterday, and because it's active, it keeps it pinned in the background and running, despite me doing workouts and the bedtime stuff and charging it overnight. It just kept it pinned and it doesn't auto close. So who knew? The Apple Watch is actually pretty dang good at managing multitasking, despite having no virtual memory swap. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the Apple Watch got Stage Manager before the A12X iPad Pros do. But of course, there's a handful of new watch faces, which I appreciate. They're kind of colorful and give you a lot of data and some interesting information. But yeah, as far as watchOS goes, those are most of the changes that I don't see that many people talking about. Obviously, you guys already know about the activity updates because that's pretty much all they talked about in the watchOS section of the keynote. So that's what I've discovered. Is there anything else out there that you guys ran into that you were like, oh, I wasn't expecting them to update this or change that? So all that good stuff, let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you all in the next one.